is a corruption of what the rainbow signifies theologically. Remember, this was God's promise that he would never again flood the earth.
Yeah, but you want to kill your political enemies. I mean, that's the difference. God is like, even God, the largest genocidal prick in all of fiction, who wiped out the entire fucking world's population in a flood, except for like a drunk and his family members. He spared 8 of them. Every other baby drowned. Every other puppy and mammal drowned. He drowned. Everybody, everything. The worst genocide that you could possibly imagine. But yeah, that's who you revere, obviously. The last video that I'm going to cover, and then man, I'm going to be streaming for over 5 hours. I'm going to cover Candace Owens, and this is going to wrap up my stream for Pride. And unfortunately, like I said, it's not a happy stream. It's not. This is we've got to focus on these fuckers. I just wanted to cover over and over and over what people are saying about trans people. I'm going to break these segments up, divide it up into differences, so that if you missed the stream earlier, you don't have to go and watch like all 4 or 5 hours of it. You can just go and find the clips that you want to watch and watch it from there. But the last one I'm going to respond to is Candace Owens. Let's see what she has to say about this.
Cannot stand Pride Week, Pride Month, Pride Year, whatever it is. The month of June has been completely perverted, and the majority of Americans, including my gay friends, cannot stand this month.
Okay, well, all of my gay friends love Pride Month, and I mean, Pride Month gets a little freaky. You gotta watch June. You know, June is a little bit different than the other months, we'll say.
So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why that's true. You guys ready? Reason number 1, it's because Pride Month is emblematic of corporate cowardice. Everywhere you look, all of these corporations.
When are corporations not fucking cowards? They're always taking like subsidies. They're always trying to get like tax breaks. Every time they say like, oh, they're going to donate to some charitable thing, they're always getting something on the back end of it, because the point of a corporation is to make a profit. A corporation isn't your buddy. A corporation isn't your fucking friend. A corporation is there to make money off your ass. So I don't think for 2 seconds that they would be any different when it comes to Pride. And there is a conversation about blood-sucking corporations throwing rainbow logos up and stuff like that, when those same corporations at any other time of the year might have discriminatory policies against LGBT people, or donate to anti-trans organizations like Chick-fil-A, donating to third-party organizations that then funneled money to the like Kill the Gay bill in Uganda, stuff like that. They've also funded conversion therapy. So I would think, yeah, it's very hypocritical if Chick-fil-A came out and stuck a rainbow logo up on there or whatever. Otherwise, I would say it's good to have representation. As much as I hate it, I'd still rather see like, a bunch of rainbow stuff throughout Pride Month if I'm walking downtown than not see anything at all and have our existence just totally ignored.
Corporations that don't even make sense are putting up rainbow flags, right? McDonald's. What was the issue with gay people at McDonald's? Were gay people not being served at McDonald's?
You know what? I am loving that fucking box. I just like rainbows. I like pretty colors. Might be like just something a little neurodivergent, but I do like the colors.
I walk into a furniture shop a couple of weekends ago, and prominently displayed is this LGBTQIA flag. Everybody's welcome to shop here. At what point?
Hey, she didn't do the penis emoji eggplant thing that Shapiro did, so I'll give her some props there. At least she's being a little bit more progressive than Shapiro.
In American history, were gay people not allowed to shop in furniture stores? It's so emblematic of those stupid departments that are being built up. Diversity and inclusion departments. Somebody who is completely not qualified to even work at the corporations that they work at.
Wait. This took like a weird turn against like affirmative action. Why would you argue this? Like something that has historically helped minority communities. Like she's talking about like diversity hire or whatever. It's like, look, affirmative action helped a lot of people that couldn't get jobs because they're being discriminated against. It just sounds really fucking weird to turn that into like a what, were gay people not being hired there or something, or they're unqualified to work? How would a gay person be unqualified to work at a furniture store? If anything, gay people seem like they would have some type of like, I don't know, inherent bonus to decorating or something, right? Gay people are kind of like known for having some fashion, right?
Keeping a calendar of every ridiculous
Oh God, we finally got an ad.
holiday that we continue to make up to make sure that corporations get on their knees about various social issues. We have to, we as a company are dedicating 200.
All holidays are made up, Candace. All of them. Well, this gay holiday that we just made up, okay? As opposed to what? Other holidays that were just like imposed on us? Like, no, all holidays are fucking made up. They didn't fall from the sky. It's not like every year it's like, oh shit, here comes Santa. We better, recognize his week or whatever. That doesn't fucking happen. It's not like, oh, these 2 days Santa's going to show up. We better be fucking celebrating. Otherwise we'll get Krampus or something. No, they're just made up. They're just celebrations. Chill the fuck out.
$200,000 to LGBTQ causes. Okay, where's that money even going? That's my question. Where is the money even going?
To blood-sucking corporations, where it usually goes to. Unless you're going to be like anti-capitalist right now, it's going to be like totally based.
What is it that we are striving toward for gay people and lesbian people? What don't they have in America that they...
The Equality Act to guarantee that we don't get discriminated. Hold on, here, I'll do this real quick. Because she asked so nicely. Let's see, what don't gay people have? So besides all the random bills and stuff that they try to pass against us. So here you go. So here's the Equality Act. This bill prohibits discrimination based on sex, sexual orientation, gender identity in areas including public accommodation facilities, education, federal funding, employment, housing, credit, and the jury system. Specifically, the bill defines and includes sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity among the prohibited categories of discrimination or segregation. That is not a law right now, just so that you know. In some states, they have some prohibitions against this, but what I just read off right there, those protections are not guaranteed in every state, just so you know. The bill expands the definition of public accommodations to include places or establishments that provide 1, exhibitions, recreation, exercise, amusement, greetings, or displays, 2, goods, services, or programs, 3, transportation services. This bill allows the Department of Justice to intervene in equal protection actions in federal court on account of sexual orientation or gender identity, so like specifically hate crimes and that type of thing. The bill prohibits an individual from being denied access to a shared facility, including a restroom, locker room, and a dressing room that is in accordance with the individual's gender identity. So since Candace asked, and I'm all about providing receipts, and I'm all about like facts and stuff, there it is in the law that we don't have. We do not have those protections, but cis people do. And I'm sure she would be against that equality as well.
They need us to donate IRA and go to precious metals professional. Actually, it's insulting.
Just moving past corporate cowardice. Let's move on to the next one. What's your second point?
Insulting to black people.
Oh my God. ID. Who would have thought the id poll would come out of somebody like Candace Owens? I can't believe that a right-wing grifter, as soon as it was convenient for her, might try to pull out some type of favoritism or some type of woke points. Like, she should be canceled for this. Shapiro, hold on. Matt Walsh should call that show and demand that she apologize for introducing black politics into his space, then demand that she get fired, like he did those Fox News people for bringing up the trans issues, because I'm sure Matt Walsh couldn't stand the idea of there being any fucking equality on any type of programming that conservatives would support.
I've been pretty outspoken. I even think Black History Month needs to go away. But let me tell you something. If black people are getting 1 month for the stuff that we live through in America, somebody's going to need to explain to me how it is that gay people and lesbian and trans people also got a month. Like, what somebody give me the history lesson, right? That
okay. all throughout history, LGBT people have been persecuted, murdered, and killed for being like who we are. We've traditionally been denied rights throughout like every single country all around the world throughout history. There's been very few areas at any place at any time where it was socially acceptable to be LGBT. So I don't know, being persecuted for as long as we have existed with very few places that we have been safely able to exist in. How about in World War II, when LGBT people were being like eradicated by the Nazis along with other undesirables, even when the Allied forces defeated the Germans and they surrendered, when all the other people that were kept in other camps, including minority groups and Jewish people, were all released, the LGBT people had specific pink triangles tattooed on their bodies by the Nazis to make sure that those prisoners were treated especially poorly. And when the Allies rescued them from concentration camps, they then escorted them and put them in German prisons, where they had to serve a prison sentence for being LGBT. So literally, they were the only groups of people that were taken out of concentration camps, then put into like a 5 or 10 year prison sentence afterward. That's just some of the abuses that our community has suffered. But go ahead with your ignorant ass statements.
That qualifies an entire month in celebratory rainbows. Was there an island where there was gay people that were living happily, and all of a sudden they got put onto boats and chains and brought over to America and forced to work? I missed that history lesson.
No, we existed everywhere because like as y'all kind of know, sometimes it's annoying for y'all that y'all have children and we just happen to be LGBT. Turns out that that's not just like something that happened in the last 10 years. That's always happened all across the world. And that also happened in Africa. And we know that just statistically speaking, that some portion of slaves that were brought over here as what you're kind of like dog whistling to, that some percentage of them also would have been LGBT people. And the LGBT people that suffer the most discrimination and bigotry in the modern era also happen to be Black LGBT people. So it's weird that you're trying to juxtapose LGBT rights against as if it's like a competition or something. Like you're trying to do the whole like how many equality points you have, or can you limbo beneath the bar of equality, as if we have to like compete for rights or something like that, while you're just pretending that there is not a large LGBT Black population as well, which is just like insult. I mean, like they're just getting bigotry from you from like both directions. I don't understand it. Like, why do conservatives pretend that equality or civil rights is some type of pie, and there's only so many slices that we can give out, right? This is the Nirvana. I'm so tired. The Nirvana fallacy, once again, the perfect solution fallacy. It's not like we cannot work on Black justice issues and make sure that the Black community gets reparations and that sort of thing for the things that were done to them, while we can also celebrate LGBT history and make sure that the LGBT community gets things like the Equality Act passed so that we also have equal protections. Turns out everyone can actually have equal protections under the law, and Black communities also deserve reparations for how they've been historically discriminated. Seems like an easy solution. I don't know what she's going on about.
That justifies them being able to throw their asses.
Hey, my name's Kevin. I'm a musician and performer.
God. Like literally no ads on like anything else until I get to her. And now it's just ad after ad after ad. It almost seems like she might be taking a lot of dirty, filthy, blood-sucking money from these corporations while making a video complaining about, Pride doing the same thing.
Is this LGBT built up diversity and inclusion departments? Somebody.
Wow, it went all the way back there too.
He once wrote a quote, and that quote is civil rights. Thomas Sowell, as you guys know, is one.
Thomas Sowell is a conservative piece of shit. Just so that we are clear, he's a propagandist.
One of my favorite authors, and he once wrote a quote, and that quote is, civil rights used to be about treating everyone the same. But today, some people are so used to special treatment that equal treatment is considered to be discrimination.
So the equal treatment that you're referring to is something that our community's never had. I wish that we did. I wish it wasn't the case that the Equality Act has never been passed, so that you enjoy specific protections that that people like me don't enjoy, including like not having your kids taken from you forcibly in the state of Texas just for identifying as trans and being supportive of them. You don't have to face the possibility of not being able to currently use like bathrooms in public facilities, all these sorts of things. You face none of that discrimination currently in the current system. Not that it did not exist at one point in time, but it does not exist anymore for you, while that system has always existed for us and continues to oppress us today.
That is my opinion when it comes to the LGBTQ IRS agenda. They think they're being...
Sorry, it's not funny. And when you say like QIRS, the very fact that you're trying to appeal to sympathy here and say like, well, black people had it so bad when whatever, kind of like it falls flat a little bit when you're mocking other minorities who are currently suffering. It makes it your appeal to like, well, nobody's thinking about the black community. It seemed a little like silly. Like, why would I listen to you when you're clearly being so bigoted, instead of like trying to meet our community where we're at and say like, hey, why are y'all so hurt? What don't you actually have? But of course, this is like, appealing to, once again, the lowest common denominator on the conservative side. They just want someone to tell them what they already are convinced of.
Discriminated against because they're not getting special privileges, right? Which brings me to point number 3, the slippery slope of it all. First, it began as just a day of national pride and rainbows and sprinkles and Skittles. And they said, oh, actually, we're going to need a whole week to demonstrate to you guys that we are proud to be gay and lesbian and queer. And then they weren't satisfied. I said, actually, we're going to need an entire month to do this because we need more time to express this to you. And they're never going to be satisfied, right?
Don't they also have like Black History Month? Isn't that something like in February, right? I think they have a whole month too, right? It's like, I've never gotten mad about Black History Month in my life. Not even once. I've never thought to myself like, well, I could read like lots of black authors in like a week. And if I was in school, we could do like a day on throughout the like civil rights, and we could cover, different figures. I don't know if it would take more than a week in school to go over like a lot of the history of it, especially like through the 60s. That's not the fucking point, Candace. The point is that it was expanded to a month as a holiday. So was Black History Month. And that's fine. I don't see why you would get mad that some other community is quote unquote celebrating themselves for like a month. Who cares?
But first it's like, love is love. Gay marriage, it's just about gay marriage. Love is love. And they got gay marriage and they said, actually going to tack on a T here. We've got...
The T was always there, you fucking shithead. Always there. It always has been.
Some transgendered issues, and we need to be able to speak to your children about the fact that I'm a trans femme turtle.
No one is saying I need to speak to your children. It's the reverse. Your children are coming to you and saying that there's something different about them, and they need your compassion, love, and care. All right? LGBT people do not fucking recruit people. We don't spread like a disease or something like that to people, even though that's what y'all want to say with propaganda like that.
And if you're not comfortable with that, then it's because you're a bigot. That's the figurative gun to everybody's head, right? America's got a figurative gun to their head when these movements come around. It's you either put up an LGBTQIA flag or you hate homosexuals, right? You either put up a BLM flag or you hate black people. That's it. It basically puts all of America in the closet because we have to pretend that we don't mind what's going on for an entire month.
I don't get this. Like, if somebody, okay, no one is required to fly like a BLM flag or something like that. But if I had a buddy of mine and I was putting up like a BLM flag, then he came by and was just like, hey, I don't really like the fact that you're, putting that flag up. I don't like that flag. I would think like, you're being kind of racist. Like, what's going on here? Like, what's the issue with the flag? And then I would give them an opportunity to explain themselves. But it sounds like a dog whistle when you're like, I don't like that. I don't support it. Okay, why? The why is the follow-up. But she's never going to explain why. She just makes assertion after assertion after assertion, completely unfounded. So if she's going to use proof by assertion fallacy, I'll just use appeal to the stone and just hand wave her away.
And what's going on for an entire month? Oh, that would be number 4 on my list. It's perversity that is being dressed up as diversity. We know what this is. Stop pretending that this is about pride.
Okay, so now she's trying to redefine it instead of saying, now it's not the fact that people are celebrating anything. Now it's not corporations. Now it's not just that she just insists that black people are just vaguely offended, even though there's a large LGBT black community. There's also black trans people as well. So she just skips over it, doesn't address any of that, goes right to criticizing the LGBT flag, accusing us of being groomers once again by the want to talking to kids. It's that dog whistle. And now moving to perversity dressed up as diversity. So I'm sure it's gonna be like kink at pride or some kind of in front of kids or whatever, because it really is just the endless think of the kids trying to paint our community as disease spreading ne'er-do-wells that are coming after people's kids.
When you need to wear assless chaps and shake your butt in front of a child's face. And then you say, oh, if you have any issues with this, then it's because you're a bigot and you're raising your child to be a bigot.
There's literally nothing in that image that somebody could not wear at a beach. In fact, plenty of beaches that you go to, you're going to see people walking around in Speedo that covers less than what that person's wearing. And you'll see women wearing, thongs and that sort of thing, sunbathing and people making out and stuff. And yet nobody has a problem taking their kids around that type of stuff. But if it's oh God, they're hanging on a rainbow X, then it's an issue. Yeah, okay.
Your baby needs to be anti-racist, your baby needs to be anti and pro and supportive.
Anti-racist, and she says that mockingly? What? Would you want them to be pro-racist? What?
Of all of these various causes. They need to be pro-trans. They need to be actively pro-trans agenda.
First of all, there's no agenda. I don't know what you're talking about. When you said they need to be pro-trans, as opposed to being anti, I don't even know what you mean by pro-trans. If you mean people think that we should have basic human dignity, human rights, what we went over the Equality Act, then yeah, I think that they should support that. I mean, if they care about people and they have a regular amount of empathy and that sort of thing, and they want their own rights recognized, and they think that we should all have equal rights and that sort of thing, then yeah, that it kind of follows that if I think people should have equal rights, then when I say people, I mean all people. So I think any group of people should have equal rights. But you don't agree, and you think that your weird, your odd kind of selfish behavior where you want to deny people their human rights shouldn't be seen as bigoted. And it just I don't know, that word perfectly describes your position. You're a bigot.
It's debauchery everywhere you look. Look at the Pride Parade. Why is it so okay to take your children to a Thanksgiving Day parade? You have no fears, but you know fully well that if you take your child to a Pride Parade, your child is going to be exposed to a bunch of sexuality on display, because that's just what they're allowed to do for an entire month. They're allowed to be overtly sexual and pretend that they're a special snowflake.
I mean, I like it, but what's the problem with it? Once again, if you took this guy and put him on a beach in Florida, other than obviously he's well endowed, what else?
And that if you don't like it, it's because you're somehow a heterosexual freak who doesn't understand that people need to express themselves. Let me be clear. If a heterosexual couple acted in the same way as some of these couples act during a pride parade, I would be disgusted, because it's just gross. It's just debauchery. Your sexuality doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care what your sexuality is. When you're being perverse, you should be called out for it. It's the same reason I called out Cardi B for her performance on stage when I felt she.
With GoDaddy payments, you can get
Oh
paid
my God!
fast and secure.
Another ad, Candace. I swear, it's she does it to make sure that nobody will actually make response to her or something.
At the Grammys. I don't care that Cardi B is a heterosexual person. I care that there are children in America who shouldn't be forced to watch this sort of stuff. They shouldn't be forced to watch our cultural corrosion on screens. That's how the majority of adults feel when Pride Month comes along. but they're not allowed to say it.
Okay, let's see, real quick. Majority of adults think this. Let's see. Turns out record high 70% in U.S. support same-sex marriage. This is June 8th, 2021, so last year. Support for same-sex marriage, we can see it's just going up and up and up and up. And this is from Gallup as well. For the first time, a small majority of Republican support gay marriage. Consistently reported show a majority support in 2021 for the first time, 55%. So last year, Republicans, for the first time ever, the highest support of gay marriage ever. So no, Candace, I think that you're actually wrong when you say like a majority of Americans don't approve of this or don't like you shouldn't do it. No, I don't think so. It seems like majority do. And by the way, let's go to good old Wikipedia right here. Let's talk about Mardi Gras for a second. And if you scroll down in there, right here, exposure by women. Women exposing their breasts during Mardi Gras in New Orleans has been documented since 1889. The degree of modesty exhibited by nearly all female masqueraders seen on the streets. The practice was mostly limited to tourists in the upper Bourbon Street area and the crowded streets of the French Quarter, generally avoided by locals on Mardi Gras. Flashers on balconies caused crowds to form on the streets. In the last decades of the 20th century, the rise in producing commercial videotapes and catering to voyeurs helped encourage a tradition of women burying their breasts in exchange for beads and trinkets. Social scientists studying, quote, ritual disrobement found at Mardi Gras in 1991 1,200 instances of body baring in exchange for beads or other favors. So I will be looking forward to Candace Owens calling out the proud history of my people in New Orleans for exposing their breasts and being immoderate degenerate fucks, as you know, my proud ancestors.
Or else they will be accused of being bad individuals who want homosexuals to be wiped off the face of the planet. Speaking of individuals who actually want homosexuals to be wiped off the face of the planet.
Yeah, that would be like you and your ilk, right? We've been watching all night of conservatives talking about this. Basically, if they don't say outright that they want to get rid of us, they're all using the same rhetoric that as you listen to Mark Burns, who flatly called for us to be genocided. They're using all of his exact same talking points, and they walk all the way up to the end, including Peterson saying that, doctors should be arrested and put in prison for giving us health care. Then we have all Republicans seemingly supporting the Texas laws pulling trans children away from their families. That's a soft genocide. I mean, come on.
Let's talk about number 5. It's also the cultural ignorance of it all, right? You get these people that come up to you and they're waving their flags. They're the same people that are waving their pride flags in one hand and the Ukraine flags in the other one, right? And then when you say, hey, wait, gay marriage is not allowed in Ukraine. Oh, it doesn't.
Believe it or not, you can support different political positions at the same time. Like, I can say that, hey, I feel like the people in Ukraine don't deserve to all be massacred and died, even though I think that they might have a lot of poor issues when it comes to same-sex marriage. Just like, strangely enough, I don't feel like that our political adversaries in America, like that, those of you on the right, I think it'd be wrong for people to call for all of y'all to be rounded up and arrested, or to be, like put against a wall and shot, or to have your parents arrested and having your kids stolen from you. I oppose all of that for you, even though I recognize that y'all definitely are our enemies, even though you're advocating for all that shit to be done to us.
Doesn't matter. There are actually places all across the world where homosexual people are oppressed and they never do anything for it.
Wait, you played dummy on this earlier, and you were like, oh, I don't know about the, what other oppression has LGBT people ever faced? and during your like second segment, whenever you said that it was offensive to black people, and why it was offensive, because we don't face persecution like black people have. But now here you're talking about all around the world, there's place where we're persecuted, and it's always been this way. So you did know about it, you little lying.
That's not what they're raising money for. They're raising money so they can indoctrinate our children with LGBTQ agenda ideas, right? They don't care. They'll tell you to donate tomorrow to Saudi Arabia if the right politician gets on stage and tells them to. They're ignorant about their very existence, and that drives me absolutely insane.
We're aware of our, like, okay. Believe it or not, just because people have not passed LGBT rights in their country, I don't think that they deserve to be genocided by like a Russian military group, okay? I know it might sound weird, but I would rather those people like reform their laws and hopefully become more progressive, like in the Middle East. I would hope that they become more progressive and they stop killing gay people. Does it make me very angry when I see those things happen? Does it make me sad and upset? Yeah, it does. But at the same time, I don't think that like U.S. soldiers should go over there and just mow down every single person over there. Like, I don't know why this is so difficult for you to, like, you can really feel how extreme her thinking is on this situation. Like, she cannot imagine not wanting her political enemies totally like murdered by saying, I don't understand how you can support Ukraine or whatever because they don't support like you specifically. And it's like, because I understand that there's a lot of people over there who have different politics, and hopefully over time they can get better with that. They don't have to be killed. I don't see why she keeps doing this.
It also bothers me on a spiritual level that it.
Oh, no. Fuck your spiritualism. Don't care. You are so fucking morally bankrupt. If there was a God, okay, and you look at the values that Jesus talks about, you would be fucking heading straight to goddamn hell.
Is a corruption of what the rainbow signifies theologically. Remember, this was God's promise that he would never again flood the earth.
Yeah, but you want to kill your political enemies. I mean, that's the difference. God is like, even God, the largest genocidal prick in all of fiction, who wiped out the entire fucking world's population in a flood, except for like a drunk and his family members. He spared 8 of them. Every other baby drowned. Every other puppy and mammal drowned. He drowned. Everybody, everything. The worst genocide that you could possibly imagine. But yeah, that's who you revere, obviously.
And sometimes I ask a question when I look around and I see all this ridiculousness going on, when I look at the perversion that our culture has become, and I look at everything that we're even talking about in this country, you wonder if he should make good on that promise or not. You wonder if we need a reset button of some sort on.
Oh, wait, great reset dog whistle. Do we need a reset button? Like, absolutely. Dog whistle there.
Humanity all together.
And once again, she's now fantasizing with a little bit of like gleeful, like maybe humanity does need a reset. Maybe it would just be her and her family this time, and maybe God could just wipe out everyone else once again, fantasizing in a way that's like, maybe maybe it's a good thing for God to come and genocide absolutely everybody. She is morally bankrupt, and that's why I said her position is not only to revere this, but now she's actually like, wishfully thinking about it. It's fucking disgusting.
So in closing, it's a great irony.
No, I'm not going to listen to your garbage at the end. You're done. All right. If you stayed with me like this entire time, thank you so much for watching all the clips and videos. Hopefully it was entertaining for you, and it was as entertaining to watch it as it was for me to make it. But I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm going to go to bed. If you haven't, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to. I know that I don't make content very regularly right now, but hopefully getting toward the end of the year, my workload will change and I will start putting a lot more focus into this channel. But for now, I just am going to periodically upload every now and then whenever I have time and work allows. And it is, unfortunately, Pride Month is normally a time for celebration. And I'll be going out with my friends and having a great time. But I just haven't felt very energetic this year. I haven't felt very happy. I mean, obviously, like COVID is still going on, and I think about all the people that are going to be affected by that. And at the same time, with you know, more and more reports coming up of like the militia group that was caught in the U-Haul heading toward Pride, trying to disrupt it. Then a lot of chatter online about people talking about like attacking Pride parades and stuff like that. It's just been a very grim time for LGBT people. And, you know, we talked about the genocide stuff in the first segment. And I just feel like the future is so uncertain right now. And all I can say is that I hope that every LGBT person out there, just know that you are loved and that you do have a community that you belong to. Don't listen to people like Candace. Don't listen to Shapiro and the people that we've been exposed to tonight. This is kind of like the staring into the abyss at this point, right? I don't want to cover these people too much. Like my next couple of videos would be something different. But it's a thing that we have to be aware of. We have to keep track of these people. We have to know what they are doing, what they're talking about, what their dog whistles are, and keeping track of politically what's going on with us as far as like I said, the Texas, you know, bill where they're trying to take kids from their family, and out in Florida, the Don't Say Gay bill. We need to be aware of this stuff. We have to stay frosty about it. And I hope that all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.